G'day, Michael Young here again. As you can see, I'm in Canberra, and you can see the good old Captain Cook fountain spraying in the background. Obviously it's getting close to winter here, so the temperatures are quite chilly, but you can see in the trees in the background there that obviously we're losing our leaves, and it's a good time of year. Today I wanted to talk about social media, and we have a tendency to spend a fair bit of time on social media, but it actually has a really important purpose for business. But it's important to be clear on what it is that you're trying to achieve, and it's also important to make sure that you use the right platform for the right purpose. Now, there's a number of different social media platforms we commonly use. We have many millions of, probably even billions of people using Facebook around the world, and Facebook can be an incredibly great tool for your business, provided that your customers are individuals and operating in that sort of business to consumer type sector. So Facebook ads are great. You can also establish and use closed Facebook or secret Facebook groups as a way of engaging with your particular audience and with your customers. If you're working in a more business to business or business to government type arrangement, then Facebook's probably not the great place to play. LinkedIn would be a better solution, and so once again we can run ads. We can also have groups and all sorts of other things running through LinkedIn as well, and we can engage with our audience and our customers in that particular platform. If you're in different types of businesses, you can find that more image-based social media platforms such as Instagram or Pinterest may be better for you. And so you may find that, for example, if you're making things, working in a cake decorating place or manufacturing products or whatever, then photographs and images that are shared via Pinterest, Instagram and so on could be the better way to go for you. Now, what we're seeing a lot of more recently is obviously a huge growth in a number of different social media platforms, but we find that some of these things come and go. A lot of people tend to use Twitter, or at least they used to. Twitter's sort of on a decline and is being replaced by platforms such as Snapchat. Now, it's been suggested that the only reason that Twitter still exists is because Donald Trump manages to put out a whole bunch of tweets every time something enters his mind. He circulates that via Twitter, whereas there's been a significant decline in the use of Twitter by the rest of the global population. So what we find is that some of these platforms come and go. Some of these platforms sort of go in and out of favour. We're also seeing various platforms such as LinkedIn and Facebook also changing the way they operate. And so LinkedIn recently changed the way that their private groups operate. Facebook's regularly tinkering with the way that they put information and prioritise information for your individual feed. And so we find that these platforms will constantly play with the way that information is presented to you, and part of it's to improve their revenue generation capacity, but part of it's also to make sure that people that are paying get sort of priority access to or have their information provided in front of people in a priority manner. So the key message here is that generally what you'll find is that the platforms will continue to change, things will come in and out of favour, and so on. So my tips here with social media is to pick one or two and use it as your primary platform, and that's where you should spend the majority of your time from a business perspective. Now, that's not to say that, for example, if Facebook's your thing, where you like sharing cat videos or photos of the kids or family or funny jokes in a social capacity, then that's great. But from a business perspective, pick your platform and run with it. Of course, the other thing to keep in mind is that what happens on tour stays on Facebook, and so we need to be increasingly aware of the fact that whatever we put out there on social media is permanently out there. And even if we're using platforms like Snapchat, where people can send a message which is automatically deleted, it's very quick and easy to take a screenshot of that particular image or message, and so on. Only just this morning there was a media article in the US where one of the actors in one of the US sitcoms put out a tweet, and as a result of that one tweet, it was seen by many hundreds of thousands of people. But the American Broadcasting Corporation, the ABC in the US, actually canned the sitcom on the spot based as a result of that one tweet. And so the downside to social media is that if we're going to send the wrong kinds of messages, it can be a real problem for us. So that's it for me today. Make sure you like the posts, share the posts, and also if you've got any particular questions or anything you'd like me to cover off in future sessions or future video blogs, just let me know. That's all for now. Cheers.